want to talk to you guys today about a concept that's been around forever. Jim Rohn talks about a book in all of his seminars he gives, and it's The Richest Man in Babylon. And the same book, if you want a different take on it in a story form, is The Wealthy Barber. Okay, I'm talking about forever money to keep. Okay, money that you need to put away and grow. So check it out. Yeah, baby, let's get into it. Anyways, today it's like I just want to reiterate this concept of a lot of times when I was starting my self-development journey, I'd hear, pay yourself first, blah, 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 blah. Well, what does that mean? In a nutshell, it means, we're trying to get forever money. Say you work 3 years and what do you have to show for it? A bunch of junk in your garage or a bunch of dinners out or vacation? What it means to pay yourself first is like I said in The Wealthy Barber, or by the way, you can get these books on Amazon for very cheap, probably like $10. Richest Man in Babylon. It's just this concept that say you had a basket and we're putting eggs in it. Okay, so you putting eggs in a basket. If you're getting paid 10 eggs every week, you want to put 1 egg in the basket, okay? What's going to happen over a year's time is that basket's going to overflow. There's going to be like 12 extra eggs, okay? So we want to put the eggs that represent money. We want to put that money away, and we want to make it forever money. We want to keep it forever and have it go to work for us, in some way. And the way I suggest in this video is a simple index fund through Fidelity or Vanguard with the lowest fees. I mean, anybody can start a simple index fund. So back to my example, if you're making $3,000 a month, okay, 1/10 or 1 egg out of 10. All right, now let's switch to money. So 1/10 of 3,000 would be $300. You need to put that money away. So you need to have like a savings account or a Vanguard fund or a Fidelity fund where that money can rest until you buy the stock or put it in the fund. Okay. So the first step is to put that money away religiously. You're not going to miss it. It's been proven that, if you put 10% of your money away, you don't even notice it. If you just don't spend it first. I mean, what do the poor do? They spend it first on a bunch of nonsense, food, video games, beers, trips, They get in debt. I mean, I'm talking about the ultimate scenario if you're not in a lot of debt. So you got to put this money away and have it grow. So the best way to explain that to you is like to get it to grow, the money has to have like baby monies. It's going to throw off nickels and dimes. And it's going to throw off a couple bucks in dividends or in like the stock price is going to, go up. Or the index fund is going to grow. It's going to go up, just like a real estate investment, just like a house. So, and then you take a box on the index fund where it reinvests the dividends, okay? Reinvests the gains, okay? So what it does is that even those little baby nickels and dimes and the baby dollars go to work for you eventually too. So that's the compound interest effect in a nutshell. It's all going to work for you, and this is forever money. We're not going to just like get the account to 5,000 and then draw it out and say, oh, we made 2,500 or whatever. We made $2,000 off our money. No, we want to keep this going to compound on itself. It will double. There's a certain amount of years where it takes where it's going to double. If you put this money in there every month, it will double on you. So anyways, I just want to talk about a few ideas of some mentors of mine that kind of got this planted in my head, and I really got it, and it's really starting to work for me now. Once you get, say 5,000 in there, it really starts throwing off some gains. So anyways, so I mentioned Jim Rohn. His mentor was Earl Shoaff. Okay, this was probably back in the 50s or 60s, late 50s or 60s. Earl Shoaff owned Abunda Vita. It's like vitamin supplements. How can you lose weight? How can you have more energy? These are like mail order companies or door-to-door companies. Abunda Vita was selling like supplements, like vitamins type supplements. Jim Rohn was like mentored by Earl Shoaff. he eventually got involved with NutriBio, or Abunda Vita changed its name to NutriBio. Okay, so Jim Rohn started selling these supplements. Earl Schoaf was mentoring him, okay? And I'm not talking about a crazy salary, guys. It mentions the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, because he started doing it when he was a salesman for NutriBio, okay? He threw 10% of his wages into the stock market. I think he got into real estate in later years, or an index fund, okay? It's all the same. It teaches you there's 3 different vehicles you could choose. The easiest one would be an index fund. Anyway, so he did this, and in 6 years he became a millionaire. And what he says is that it freed him up later on to increase that 10% to, you know, when you can afford it, to substantial amounts. And that's when his wealth really snowballed, you know. He did this religiously, and he became a millionaire in 6 years, you know, after Earl Schoaf started mentoring him. So it's very powerful stuff, you know. He didn't just make it with a salary, and I don't think most people do. So the book, you know, what I'm trying to teach you today in this video is that to keep 10% of your money as forever money. You grow it. You grow that money, okay? You put it to work for you. It'll throw off small offspring. They too will go to work for you. The simplest way to do it is an index fund. It tracks the Standard & Poor's top 500. Those are the top 500 stocks of the day, okay? It's probably going to include things like Facebook, and might have waste management. You know, it's like a diversified thing. It's not going to have all tech stocks, but it could have, you know, and by the way, I'm not a stock expert, so this is, you know, do your own research and find out what suits you, or talk to the people at Fidelity or Vanguard, you know, and they do have Spanish speakers too, by the way, and other languages, and you don't have to be necessarily a citizen. You know, there's ways to open up these funds. I know people from Canada that have these funds in America. So if there's a will, there's a way. Don't let it stop you if you're non-American. Just look into these funds and talk to somebody at Fidelity or Vanguard. Okay, and I'm not an expert, but I mean, I'm not a certified planner or a financial stock guy, so take this with a grain of salt. But you gotta sideline that money, put it into this vehicle where it makes more. And the most important thing is you do not neglect this, you know. It's easy to do. You know, Jim Rohn said it was easy to become a millionaire. It was easy because he did not neglect to do what was necessary. He found something he could do with Abunda Vita. He was selling door to door. He was selling, you know, it's similar to Amway. He had other salespeople under him, and he became a millionaire in 6 years with a basic salary. And that's what it teaches you in The Richest Man in Babylon. I think the main character was a chariot maker. You know, he stretched canvas over the wheels, and he gilded the chariots for the rich and the king and the rich folks in Babylon. So take whatever job you have now. You don't have to be a salesman for Abunda Vita. You don't have to be an Amazon seller like me, or, you know, you don't have to have fancy income or huge income. What matters is you take 1/10 of everything you make and you put it to work for you. That is your forever money to keep. That is what they mean by saying pay yourself first, okay? It's very important. And all you had to do was participate without fail. Month after month you do this. In 1 year you'll see effects. In 1 year I think I'm gonna put in $3,600. Now, I've seen that double, folks. I've seen that in the right conditions double in the right amount of time. Or not quite double, I've seen it go up to $7,000, okay? From dividends and gains, okay? And I don't take it out, I don't buy and sell. I buy and hold, okay? And that's what you should be doing in your index fund. You know, your goal should be to get it up to 100,000. You know, you start with whatever you start with. As Jim Rohn would say, you start, even if you can't do the 1/10 because you're in debt and you got 3 cars and a wife and a house and kids, you still, you know, put in the percentage of what you can. 10% would be the ideal, 1/10 of what you make, okay? Get to the point where you can do that. That's the ideal. But don't ignore this, okay? So anyways, the wealthy barber gives the same lesson. You know, he does it in a storybook form. It's humorous, and he's basically saying he's a barber and he built wealth, and he taught his customers, you know, his clients, how to do the same thing. And the main takeaway from these books is it must be taught, usually by self-education. They're not going to teach you this in school, unfortunately. So you got to have like videos, and you got to buy a book or two on Amazon. It's only going to cost you $10. And like I said, I almost doubled that $3,600. So it's well worth it to watch these videos and to buy a book on it and to educate yourself about money. And this system I'm talking about is the most basic there can be. Straight up index fund, and putting aside 10% of your income, whatever you earn, folks. Even if you're working at McDonald's, you give this 4 years and you have substantial gains of whatever you put in. It'll show you right on your computer screen or right on your printout what you've gained over the 4 years. It's incredible. It's how compound interest takes effect. So this money is for you to keep. It's not for you to spend, you know, not for you to squander. It's forever money, and it will forever go to work for you. It will, I promise you. And it'll produce a little more. After the years, it will double itself. It will. You'll watch it do it. And all you had to do was participate without fail, month after month, and you'll be financially set eventually. Anyways, let me share with you this quote from another mentor of mine, Craig Ballantyne, who I'm a big fan with. I'm gonna leave you guys on a positive note. He says, "Be a great person, live with integrity, follow the golden rule, be polite and courteous at all times, do not curse or give in to angry outbursts, be positive, do not speak poorly of others, be virtuous, eliminate vices." See you next time, guys. Thanks.